Vonry. Hopefully I said that right. Welcome to the stream. Sound is fine. Right on. Well, let's get things rolling. Green Sniper, Islander was telling me a little bit about some stuff you got going on your channel with some 1v1. Sounds pretty interesting. Kind of a cool idea. Maybe some folks here can swing by your channel and check it out. What's up, James? Hotshot. Hey, do. So hopefully everybody is having a great weekend. Another wonderful weekend filled with war robots. Hopefully you guys have been having some good games. We had some pretty good games last night with my clan, so looking forward to some more later on tonight. And of course, sure not everybody here is fans of the NFL, but football season is once again upon us. Whether you guys enjoy watching the games or playing some of the fantasy football, it's a pretty fun time. Get us through the most part of the winter anyway. So today we have the podcast show for you guys, and the topics that we are going to be discussing today is game modes, Hangar setups, and upgrade priorities. So hopefully you guys have some questions or maybe tips or ideas that you guys are willing to share with us while we have this talk. And I have Islander once again here, and I will go ahead and bring him into the channel. Don't forget, those of you that are watching, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so by hitting the subscription button below, and the same goes for Islander's channel. You can find a link to his channel in the video description, so make sure you hit his channel up as well and subscribe there. And let me go ahead and bring him into the talk. Hey, what's up, Islander?
What's going on, partner? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Wonderful Sunday afternoon.
Yes, sir. A little bit of WR, a little bit of football, all kinds of good stuff going on today, man.
Yep, definitely. Got some coffee, got some ice cream chilling in the freezer for later. So I'm set.
You are, brother. All right.
So I let them know the topics that we're going to be talking about today, the different game modes, Hangar setups, and upgrade priorities. But I'm sure everybody here already knows you, but just in case somebody doesn't, why don't you go ahead and let them know a little bit about yourself.
Hey, guys, this is Islander. How the hell are you? If you know, most of y'all that do know me, I have my YouTube channel. I do a lot of news, a lot of rumors, a little bit of gameplay, just a tad bit of everything, all right? Keep it real with you guys 100% of the time. I like to speak my mind, you know, whether it's good or bad, right, wrong, or indifferent. If it needs to be said, I'm going to say it, all right? So glad to have all of y'all here, and let's get this show going.
Right on. So, getting things going here. Michael Thompson asking if I read the website about Project Pendragon, and I will admit, no, I have not yet read that. I have read a couple social media posts about it, but I haven't actually got into depth on that one just yet. I've been working a little more on some of my research for today's stream, getting together all of these different maps and different things for you guys, but I will definitely check it out, and I'm guessing we should get some more information this week about the next update, and maybe some more information about the upcoming Halloween event. And when we do get that drop of information, I will make sure that I schedule the very next podcast to discuss whatever it is that they dropped. But anyway, so getting started on today's topics. It's kind of like last week's stream, where it's not like super specific, it's a little more generalized. I want to try and get back to basics, because there's a lot of viewers that you know, just need some of that base information still to really help their game or their gameplay with War Robots. So figured I would go ahead and you know, shoot the shit here with Eddie over some of the different game modes. I know most people kind of think there's only 4 game modes in War Robots, but there's actually more. So we will kind of touch base on that. And of course, Hangar setups. Feel free to ask questions about you know anything having to do with hangars. What's a good hangar setup for a certain game mode, or what's a better robot. Whatever the case may be, go ahead and shoot the questions in the chat, and we will try to get to it. So, I guess we can just start off with some game modes. I mean, everybody's familiar with Domination. It's the first game mode that ever came to the game. I guess for a long time, well before I ever started playing, it was the only mode that you could play in, and thankfully, I found the game well after they introduced Beacon Rush, which is my go-to. It's my go-to game mode. It's the one that I definitely prefer. And then there is also Free for All, which is Eddie's expertise by far. I have played it mainly when I was coming up, but not nearly as much as Islander does. And then there is also TDM or Team Deathmatch. But a couple of modes that people kind of overlook sometimes is Skirmish. It is an actual game mode, even though it is only temporary at times, and it's a preset hangar. And then there is the custom game mode, custom games, which I'm guessing was it the Green Sniper? I'm guessing that's how he runs his 1v1 matches, is in a custom game mode. And along with that one, you also have access to Hangar X, which is kind of a preloaded hangar. It changes every once in a while, but it's kind of cool sometimes to just get in there and screw around. And then there is the last game mode, which is the newest, which is Arena. Arena so far has only been available to us during special events, but they did talk about possibly, bringing it maybe permanently. The one that I did leave off though is King of the Hill. If you guys have started playing War Robots within the last year, you may not have ever had a chance to play King of the Hill. Personally, I used to play King of the Hill just to farm gold. It was an easy way to get gold. But they did remove it from the game some time back, supposedly to give it a makeover. Honestly, I don't think it's ever going to come back. Just my opinion. But, so we've got, I mean, there's what, seven, I guess, six or there's seven actual game modes to play in. We need more modes. Oh, I don't know. Well, I guess they are kind of gonna. I think they're testing along with the new map. Some of you guys have probably seen on the official Facebook page or the War Robots official YouTube channel. They released some information about this new map, and it's going to be 1v1 arena. I'm kind of interested to see how that actually plays out, because I like the format of the arena, but I'm not sure how they can carry that over to a 1v1 setting. So I'm definitely interested in it, but that is a I think they might be testing that out as possibly another game mode in the future. So like I said, my favorite is Beacon Rush, but Beacon Rush and Domination are both team. Well, TDM is also a team game or a team mode, but Beacon Rush and Domination, their main feature is around beacons. You want to control and fight for control of the beacon bars, which I found quite often, especially when running solo. A lot of players seem to miss that part of it. I mean, what's your experience with that, Islander?
Well, let me go and get to a question real quick. Aaron wants to know what is a good hangar for. I'm sorry, is that Aaron? I kind of missed the name there, but what is a good hangar for free for all? I would say be as versatile as you can. I mean, if you can get a big different bots in there, unless you have a particularly strong play style, okay, and you want to focus on a different set of bots, like a speed hanger. I think a speed hanger right now is dominant in free for all. Okay, the tanks are good, okay, but they are slow. So if you're going to be going up against a speed bot, and that is the last bot you're going to drop, he could just outrun you all day long. You're not going to be able to close the gap. You'll lose that match. So speed, in my particular preference, as far as for free for all, would be the ideal setup. Okay, but you can make it versatile as you want. Different bots, but you got to have some kind of speed in there, at least for the end of the game.
Well, and that's kind of a good point, talking about diversifying. Even though I don't play a lot of free for all, I do drop into it every once in a while on my main account just to kind of get a little bit of that more one-on-one type of practice, I guess. And sometimes I do run some free for all when I'm testing robots or builds on the battle rec. And I think the key to the diversification is also to counter other popular robots.
Right.
So, that's something definitely to pay attention to, and a lot of times the countering can be done with just changing out like your active module. If you're running into Al Junes, you definitely want to have at least one robot that has quantum radar.
Quantum radar.
Because if you don't, that Al June's just going to wreck you the whole match. But let's see. Hey, what's up, AD Gaming? Welcome to the
now. Let's talk about Dom for just a little bit. Domination is, of course, the original mode that we had. All right, and Dom, to me, has always been fun. Okay, the problem is on a large map, you got to start from the back and work your way all the way back up to the area of fighting. But while you're doing that, okay, it does give you a lot of planning time. You got time to survey the field, see what's going on in front of you, and you can modify what you're going to do while you're on your way to the fight. You might have one plan in mind, and whatever happens in that fight on that side just completely finishes, or is moved off. Okay, so you can redirect yourself to the other side of the field and just kind of go where you need to go. That has always been a good part of Dom for me, is the prep time that you have from the time that you start to the time that you actually engage back into the fight is good for setting up your strategy. The bad thing is sometimes by the time you drop your first bot and you get back to the fight, that fight could already be over, or the match could be over. So the long walk is a negative, okay, but it also gives you time for prepping.
That's what I call the long walk of shame. You're making that walk because you got your butt kicked, and
well, that's a nice way to say it.
But I mean, and honestly, that is the only reason that I don't play Domination, is because of that long walk. It's not even that bad on TDM, because in TDM you can at least, you have 3 spawn locations to choose from, so you can get a little bit closer to the action. But Domination, Domination is just tactics-wise just such a different game than Beacon Rush, just because you don't have that ability to just respawn there, at a beacon to instantly defend it. But it's also, I think a little more favorable to some playstyles that Beacon Rush may not be. What I find is that like Beacon Rush really favors brawlers. At least right now, whereas TDM really favors more so the campers, or the peekaboo bots, that jump up, shoot your load, and drop back down behind cover. But Domination is kind of in the middle there. I mean, you can brawl, but you can also be successful with more of the longer range or camper style play style, and some people really enjoy that.
The mid-range support, the 400 to 600 meters fighting is pretty popular with on certain maps. Okay, on certain maps, I mean, some maps are just not designed for support bots. They're just too small. But you still can have success with them if you're smart enough and you play your bots right.
Right. And that's talking about some of the different maps. Obviously some maps, even for Beacon Rush, you can succeed with like a camper style or a long range or mid range support. But for the most part, Beacon Rush is, I mean, you can brawl on any map and be successful. Um, that's not necessarily the case if you're using brawling bots on, like, say, TDM or Domination, because you're talking about that long walk of shame having to come back to the fight. Yeah, you have time to think about what you're going to do, but the other team has time to snipe you and kill you before you ever get there. So you got to be a little
Yeah,
bit careful with how you approach it as well.
exactly.
Uh,
Let's
somebody was
Beacon Rush. As far as hold on, do we have a question? I saw a question something about a Raven. Did you see that question?
I saw somebody ask a question on whether or not I thought the Hellburner was worth getting. Um,
Yes.
I I
Yeah.
I think it is.
Hellburner is definitely worth it. Yes.
I did prioritize this last update. I did prioritize to finish upgrading my Hellburner, even though I don't run him very often. I just I think he's a very good counter for some of the other robots in the game right now. And as of right now, anyway, until they change it, if they change it, you can kind of take advantage of almost like a little bug with phase shift with the Hellburner, where you don't take the explosive damage, as long as you're phase shifted after using your
Right.
ability. So I don't think it was intended to be like that. So I'm not telling you to do that, but that is how it is right now. Do I think they're going to change it? Maybe, but it's not really a priority of theirs. Um, but yeah, definitely the Hellburner is very strong, especially because, like, I was talking to some of my clan members last night when we were playing. I've actually been seeing this past week or so an increase in Ares coming back out onto the field. More Ares trains than initially after the update. So I think people are realizing the Ares is still very strong, and the Ares train is still very strong, and the Hellburner is definitely a counter to that.
A solid counter. If you don't have one and you're playing in team matches, I would recommend at least one for your hanger. If you want to be effective against an Ares train with that, along with an anti-control, you're going to do just fine. You're going to do just fine as far as breaking up that train. The Raven with the Shredder Pulsar. Okay, and you were asking if that is a good beacon capping bot or first bot. I'm assuming James. I wouldn't recommend Shredders and Pulsars for trying to get to a beacon fast and then sit there and fight for the beacon. If you're going to use the Raven to use that double jump and get to the center as quick as possible, and you're going to probably be running into speed bots while you're there. I would more recommend a shotgun setup. Okay, but basically, what do you have in your hangar, and what are the best level weapons would be the best answer. But if you have them, shotgun weapons are definitely that. If you're going to try to use it for a beacon runner, to get to that center beacon right away.
I agree. The Shredder and Pulsars are very strong, and they're a great combination. They work good together, but in that damage support role, not in a straight up brawling face to face type of situation. They really lack, whereas the shotgun builds really do a lot better. People talking about Vipers or Avenger on Al June. See them.
Vipers or Avengers out June. Well, this is a debate that ever since the weapons came out. I personally like the Avengers start are better. Okay. There are some people that say that the Vipers are like perfect for the T-Falcon. That they really go there, they do their damage, and they have the corrosion damage, and they can chop down a T-Falcon very fast. Okay, I have really not experienced that too often, but it comes from very credible people that use maxed out gear, and I take them at their word. Budget wise, it's all Avenger. Okay, it's pound for pound. I think that the most deals out the most damage in the game, and it is probably the cheapest weapon you're going to upgrade in the game. So if those are the two you have, if you're on a very tight budget, go Avengers. You won't be you won't be unhappy about the decision. If you got the extra silver and you're rolling and you're one of those people that carries around about 1 billion silver, then you're gonna be good to go with the Vipers. But I would recommend the Avengers over the Vipers. My personal.
I think in most situations you're right. The Avengers, especially given the upgrade cost, are going to be superior as far as they do put out a ton of damage, and they can get the job done for half the cost of Vipers. Personally, on my personal account, I was running 2 MK2 Avengers on my Aljun, and I switched it out to 2 Vipers, MK1 level 12, and I am very happy with the results, but mainly because I use that to be able to take down those fat targets, the tanks, the T-Falcon, Fenrirs. But I had the gear, and at the time I had the silver to upgrade it. But definitely that upgrade is something that you need to consider. That goes to along with or along the same lines as the shotgun weapons. A Halo and Corona are way more expensive to upgrade over a Storm and a Gust. So
yeah.
Do you need 4 Halos on your Blitz? No, you don't. In fact, I
No,
only
you
run
don't.
2, and the other 2 are Gust. And there's pros and cons for going either way, and it's not just cost, but that is definitely one factor you need to consider, especially since part of our discussion here is also upgrade priorities. Definitely want to upgrade things that you can max out the quickest and cheapest, but that may not always be the best weapon in the slot.
Okay, let's move on down. We got a few questions coming in, so let's go ahead and address these questions, and we'll get back on in the talk of as far as the maps. Is it good to run 2 traditional Falcons and 1 Hangar? Turbo, I would say no, bro. I would not personally run 2 T-Falcons. I think 1 would do justification. That is generally you're gonna be using that in team play. You might want to use that as your last bot to defend a beacon, especially if you have a 3-2 advantage. You're not going to be dealing out a whole lot of damage with your T-Falcons. You'll get some good fights here and there. As people move the speed bots, you're going to have a harder time addressing your target. So I wouldn't recommend 2 T-Falcons, but in the end, the choice is really going to be yours. All right, it's your Hangar, and you're going to do with it what you want to do with it. But the best advice I could give you, I would not do 2. I would try to keep my Hangar a little bit more diversified if I could.
Well, and you have to also keep in mind that a traditionalist Falcon is very, very strong defensively, but it absolutely sucks for damage output. So
right, so you're not going to be collecting a lot of silver on that one. So like I said, if you want to drop it as your final bot, you're going to hold it. You're going to defend a beacon. Ain't nobody going to move you off of that beacon when you're running your T-Falcon, especially if you got, a minute and a half to go. You're going to sit there just fine and pretty.
Let's see. Doug was asking you a question right under that, but before I get to it, Lone has a donation. Islander from the chat. How the hell are you?
How the hell are you, partner?
But Doug was asking, what your thoughts are on Lockdown. Has it enhanced the gameplay, or has it taken away from the flow of the game, or the use of abilities?
Lockdown has been a pain in the ass since day one. I have never been a fan of Lockdown. I play it and I'll use it because it's in the game, and I will do anything that I can for my particular Hangar to increase my odds of getting a win. But had they removed the Lockdown from the game totally, I would not be an unhappy person. I don't like it. I think it does slow the game down. And now, as far as what I have noticed in the game recently, is if you are running a tank, an Invader, a Fenrir, a T-Falcon, a Bulwark, you are going to get locked down a lot more, all right, than you are if you're running a speedier bot, okay? And, middle speed to high speed, your chances of getting locked down are a lot less. I run both of these different setups. I run speed and I run a big old fat juicy tarantula, okay? And I noticed that it seemed like every 5 seconds that damn big spider was getting locked down. And of course I put the anti-control on it. Well, that didn't help very much, all right? you know, in order to keep that big boy going, you need more than one anti-control, and I was not willing to do that. Therefore, that's why I'm kind of straying away from the heavier, slower bots, because on top of being fat and slow, you know, you also seem to get locked down a lot. It does slow the pace of the game, in my opinion, and it does make it a little bit stagnant. When they modified the lockdown weapons, okay, they did really, really good. But it seems that the closer you are to your target, the higher your ability is to lock that target down. And if you're a big target, it just seems to be happening a little bit faster. This is just what I've seen. Are they going to get rid of lockdown? No. All right. So that's just kind of a blanket thought on my side. I wish it never had come into the game, but it is here. But yeah, I think it does slow down the tempo of the game just a little bit, and that's why I kind of stay away from the meteor bots.
Originally, I hated lockdown when it first came to the game. I was pissed off. I'm like, really? They're going to bring a weapon in that takes control of your robot, prevents you from being able to jump or move or whatever. But then I got used to it, you know. So I guess I've kind of just accepted the fact that it's here, and I use the hell out of it.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, but I agree. For some reason, the tanks do seem to get locked down more often. But I think the biggest difference is the red team gets their lockdown ammo from a premium vendor, and the blue team's lockdown ammo comes from the generic crap.
Yeah, we got generic shit.
My lockdown never works on the first shot, but I always, you know, I can catch a stray bullet and I get locked down. It's just crazy. Let's see. What is a good brawler?
Oh man, there's just so many out there. I mean, you gotta be a little bit more specific with your question.
For me, I think the best two brawlers in the game right now is the Fenrir and the Blitz. That's my personal opinion. And I say the Fenrir, yes, he's a tank, but man, he packs so much firepower, it's ridiculous. And he has that health to stay on the field for a while. Whereas the Blitz is the other side of the spectrum. He doesn't have quite as much firepower, but he's got enough. And his speed, his ability, his suppression, man, both of those two robots, I can outbrawl any other robot in the game one on one, no problem. But some people, you know, like Rock in my clan, give him a Mercury, dude pulls like 6 godlikes, you know, and that's his first spot. He doesn't even run a beacon runner. That is his beacon runner, but somehow almost every match he's pulling godlikes off of a Mercury. I can't do that. I'm not that good at it, but I think it's
I suck at the Mercury.
It's different for everybody, you know. But I think definitely my vote would go to the two that I mentioned.
Yeah, I would definitely lean towards the Pursuer as a bot that I use pretty often. And up until recently, it was still the Heishi. The Heishi was something that I was still very effective with. But I have leaned more towards the Ares simply because it still has the shield, okay? And even though it does slow down during its ability, all right, it gets its speed right back. So if you're already prepping your exit upon the ability, you're still going to do very, very well with the Ares, okay? Yeah, it does have a little bit harder time with the tanks now, okay, but it does have the speed to get itself in and out of situations if you're prepped properly, all right? The Pursuer is just an all-around little speed bot. It gets inside, it throws its body blows, and it can get out just as quickly, all right? So, yeah, those would be my two with the Ares coming. I mean, with the Heishi still kind of hanging around there just a little bit.
Michael runs. What? Man, you're crazy. Running 4 T Falcons in a hangar. That's
Have fun with that. Have fun with that.
That's a little too much for me. I mean, they're strong and I love my tanks, but the play on the traditionalist Falcon, it's just, to me, it's a little less exciting than some of the other tanks. Islander, are you going to be using a Blitz in your hangar anytime soon?
Yes, I won my blitz at the same time I won my the other two spider bots. I won them on Adrian's live stream way back when those bots first came out. It took me forever to get the spider up, and the blitz has just been a little bit slower going because we got so many other things. They keep coming into the game. So, you know, I got those bots for free, and the only giveaway that I've ever won anywhere was that one. And I look forward to eventually getting it up to par and getting it in the match. And you'll see a pretty much dominant speed lineup in my free-for-all, which will consist of two pursuers, a strider, a blitz, and hopefully either it's going to be a phantom at some point. All right, the current anger that I have right now will pretty much disappear, with the exception of the pursuer, and I'll be getting him a twin.
Let's see. Grizz Hunter asked or said that seems there are more tankers now than before. What do we think, and what can be done?
That's man.
It's a bit of a passionate subject for me. Personally, I was not satisfied with Stan's answer on the dev stream.
Nor was I.
With how he was talking about the champion crate and the honor point system. I think that one thing right there, just the fact that it takes twice as long to reach a champion crate now, I think that one thing is what's driving at least 50% of the tankers. I mean, we're always going to have tankers. It's just a fact of life. But it's to the point now where, and I do not condone tanking. Do not do it. It's you know, just it ruins the gameplay for a lot of people, you know, involved. But you know, at the same time, I have to say, you know, I can't necessarily blame them, because going from master crate to champion crate now just sucks. I used to be able to do the whole thing in 5 days or less, and now it's 5 days plus just to go from master to champion crate. So yeah, it's until the developers are willing to accept the fact that their math is wrong.
Is it as bad as Islanders?
There is nothing that we can do about it. Just, you know, expect it in every match. If you're rolling, you know, as a random or rolling solo, you know, expect to see tankers. It's you know, it sucks. But trust me, I give feedback to them. You know, I've broken it down to them, showed them the math, tried to explain to them where they're wrong or incorrect in their thinking. But ultimately, it's up to them to make the change.
Yeah, the whole taking, the mass taking started when the new honor system came in. Okay, and it was a bad system. It's a good system if you're sitting in master. Okay, and their method of thinking is, well, you get more honor points for being a champion than you do for being a master. Well, that's true to a certain extent if you're you're consistently in the top three. But if you're in the bottom three of that part, okay, then you're better off being in master and being in the top three consistently. Okay, you get more honor points for being in the top three, and that's where the problem lies. So people that were in champion have found it easier for them to drop to master, low master, okay, and still get their honor points and get from the basic or the private crate to the master crate repeatedly faster than they could get a champion crate, and the prizes in the champion crate did not increase at all. Okay, now they are talking about they are going to be potentially addressing the champion crate, maybe make it juicier. Okay, and at the end of the day, it is free stuff. All right, it's stuff that we're getting acquired for playing. All right, but they have just made it that much harder to acquire it. All right, and it should not be the gap that it has right now. That should be at least 150, you know, 150,000 cups shorter than what it is right now.
Right. But yeah, tanking, it sucks. I don't recommend doing it. But you know.
Hold on 1 second, Greeny. Yeah, nobody's math is as bad as mine, except for Pixonic right now. All right, they got some horrible math. I don't know. They might be using some of my formulas. I don't know, brother. It's bad. All right, let's continue.
Let me see. Is there a place for the Behemoth? Is it solely a range bot? Skirmish showcased it with glory, tough, good damage, slow, chubby, lockdown, easy target.
Give me a second, Steve. Give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Um, I don't know. I did a video on the Behemoth, and yes, you can brawl with it. I mean, you can play any game style with pretty much any robot, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be easy or consistent. I think right now the Behemoth is, to put it bluntly, nothing more than a gimmick. The big fat robot carries a lot of firepower, but he is not really well suited for any kind of brawling. And right now, the meta, for the most part, is set up for fast bots, brawlers, and tanks. So I really don't see the Behemoth doing well. And hey, what's up, Art? Thank you very much for your support.
Chief.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, I have a family emergency. I'm gonna have to break out at this time.
Okay.
I do apologize, guys out there. I'm sorry, but I had something just happen right now, and I'm gonna have to break off the air. I will get back with y'all later on. Okay, hey, Chief, I do apologize
All good,
very
man.
much.
Take care of
Gotta
business.
get going.
Yep.
I will. Thank you.
All right. Well, fortunately, looks like we lost Islander, but we will go ahead and continue on. My advice may not be quite as sound, but I will do my best. But I recommend the Behemoth for a hangar. The only way I would recommend a Behemoth for any hangar is if you are a very rich player and you have two hangars that you can max out and one of them set up specifically for ranged. Unfortunately, that's not most players. All right, let me just kind of go through here and try and catch up on some of the chat. Yeah, Loki squad can be pretty deadly. I did catch some of Adrian's stream earlier. It's Loki can be frustrating, and they're even more so frustrating when there's more than one on the field. Um, I think I'm a few pages back on chat, just trying to get through, make sure I don't want to miss too many questions here. What do I think is better between the T-Falcon and the Fenrir? I still choose the Fenrir over the Falcon just because the damage output is a lot better, but the T-Falcon, for me, the way I play it is more of a diversionary tank, try to get the focus of, 3 or 4 of the Reds and have them trying to take me down, and hopefully my team takes advantage and are able to get in and steal a beacon. All right. Do I see Pixo fixing the tier? Well, I honestly think the tier is pretty good now. With the new tier Legendary Pilot, I think that really helped it out a lot, and I see it as much more capable than it used to be. Would I like the idea of a weapon that shuts down enemy weapon system? No, but I was talking to somebody the other night. I don't remember who it was, but I thought of like a dark phase shift type of ability, or it could even be a an active module where we have phase shift now, and it kind of just protects you. You kind of just phase out of out of the map, but to use a dark phase shift where you actually put it on an enemy robot, and once you use it, it phases them out like of the map completely, as in like they're gone for 5 seconds. Not only, they're not just kind of invisible like the phase shift is now, but they're actually out of the game, out of the game for like 5 seconds before they could come back. Um, I think that would be pretty funny. I don't know. Ares with Corona, the best build. It's strong. Um, I'm not a big fan of the Ares, but my preferred gameplay with the Ares is as that damage support role, more of a mid-range, not a brawler. Especially with the changes they made to it recently, you kind of have to be careful getting too close and then using your ability and getting stuck being slow. But Rona is definitely a strong build for the Ares. Up to kind. Cross-play platform. Hopefully next year. All right, so kind of just trying to get a little bit back onto some of the stream topics. Um, Kind of wanted to go over just some basics with the upgrade priorities, and I know the general rule of thumb is to upgrade weapons before bots, and that's kind of a good idea to stick to. But with so many things needing to balance upgrades now with modules, and oh, my dog is driving me nuts right now. Sorry about that. But I think that even though weapons over bots is still a priority, you can't take that to an extreme. I mean, you can't use level 12 weapons on level 3 robots. It's just not going to work out very well. I think for the most case, you need to try and get your robots up at least to like level 9, where you can at least maximize their speed. Um, and then weapons definitely, but you do have to balance that out with your modules. Now I understand that premium modules are a lot more expensive. If you don't have premium modules yet, you definitely want to prioritize upgrading your cheaper silver modules. They do make a big difference, and they are cheap and quick to max out. He's hearing himself barking. No, he's just being annoying right now. He does this for some reason every Sunday stream. He doesn't do it on my other streams, but he really enjoys talking to you guys on Sundays. So yeah, I mean, with upgrade priorities, you definitely have to balance things. Then you also have to, take a look and see what your silver income is, because that's going to really dictate how fast you can upgrade things anyway. If you're a very casual player and you're only playing 4 or 5 matches a day on average, it's going to take you a long time to really upgrade things. Whereas if you're a more consistent player or more active player, and you're playing 30 or 40 matches a day, you should be getting enough silver to be able to keep up with your upgrades. My dog has some good insights. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my recommendations for upgrade priorities. Definitely pay attention to your robots. Don't just forget about them, but also have a plan. Don't invest really anything into a weapon you are not going to use later on. So, a thunder, don't waste your time upgrading it. Or a mullet, and yes, I know some people play with mullets in Champion League, but just don't waste your time. So really take a look at the weapons that you have, and or even the robots. And if you know you're not going to be using it later on, don't waste the resources. Um, and then let's see, we've covered kind of maps here and there. I mean, does anybody have any specific questions for maps? I mean, there are definitely maps that I enjoy more than other maps, but I think that's more for my play style. I'm more, of a brawler, very aggressive gameplay, so I like the smaller maps a little bit more than like Yamantau or Springfield. Canyon's not too bad. You can still brawl pretty good on Canyon. I think Yamantau is definitely my least favorite, and that's mainly because of the long map, but also because of Center Beacon. It's just so poorly designed that whoever gets Center Beacon first generally is going to have the game won. Dog is translating for other dogs. Yeah, that's funny. Yes, my dog is in Legend League. He has his own account. Yeah, the multiple level maps are actually pretty fun. Unless out of war, the targeting. Yeah, targeting is definitely an issue for them, but it does bring a nice change of pace to the game. A lot more tactics with playing on multiple levels. Um, you know, but targeting is really bad on some maps, like for example Dreadnought. Oh, if somebody for some reason on Dreadnought, if there's somebody up on the roof, I mean you just can't target them. And I think part of that is because there is no ability in the game to look up. For some reason, these robots they can't look up, but yeah, the targeting is definitely something that hopefully Pixonic can work on. Grab the beacon. Roma has billboards offering loans. Yeah. Actually, there's been a couple of little Easter eggs that have been found in Rome on some of the billboards and whatnot. Uh, Rome is kind of a cool map. It doesn't really have the different layers, but it's a solid map as far as a good mix of covered areas, open areas. Definitely one of the better maps in my opinion. Favorite is the Invader. Invader is a ton of fun, and it's still a very strong robot. Though for some reason they don't weigh much. I think they're filled with helium because they bounce off of any robot that you actually land on. Kind of funny. I think the shooting through walls with the leech is going to be problematic. Yes, I do. I think that is a huge mistake, and I'm not sure why they put it back on the leech. I don't agree with it at all. The one common defense in this game, whether you're playing on brand new account, uh, with a starter robot, or you're playing up in Champion League with some of the newer stuff, the one solid defense that you have is to use cover. And I think allowing the leech to shoot through walls is a terrible idea. I mean, just put it this way. Previous to the leech, if a weapon or robot was able to do anything through a wall, it was considered a bug. So now they're introducing this on purpose. I think it's just gonna be a huge problem, and I have talked to Islander about it, and he really sees it as an issue, especially on Android, where you've got a lot more hackers. That I mean, they can just get on there, and even though they did lower the reflectability on it to 35%, a hacker can easily turn that up to 1,000% and just one shot people that are behind a wall from 600 meters away. So yeah, it's definitely a big problem. But I think that with some things, I think the developers kind of have it set, you know, that this is what they're gonna do. And even though we do test it and give feedback, I think there's certain things that they just really stick to, and I think unfortunately that's one of them, that they are going to release this robot that can shoot through walls. Any tips on TDM bots and weapons? Well, I do play some TDM. Usually, when we're getting wrecked real bad in Beacon Rush, we'll drop into TDM. In my clan, we play TDM kind of like Beacon Rush. We brawl and we go straight at people. And I can tell you that most people that play TDM are not ready to deal with that. Um, but when we do go against some of the TDM specialist squads, the guys that really all they play in their squad is TDM, it doesn't always work. So I think with TDM, if you're playing it like legitimately, like as a random, and you want to really get into TDM, I think you do need to have a little bit more of that support role in your hangar. Whether it's a healing robot or a mid-range support, like an Ares running um, Scourge and Spark, some kind of 600-meter range weapon. Um, I think you generally will benefit a little bit more to your team, especially with randoms in TDM, if you focus on things like that. But as for specific robots, that's a tough one, because I mean I've seen Griffins do well in TDM. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have the strongest robot if you are very careful and use cover, which unfortunately, with the leech coming out, cover is not going to mean quite as much. And yeah, we don't really get too many hackers on iOS. I mean, I have seen them, but it's very, very, very rare. Let's see. Yeah, I think honestly with iOS, there's probably a lot of players that have never even came across a hacker on iOS. Best way to counter them is get into their home with your Falcon. Best way to counter what? Not exactly sure of the question. Can I do a video on how to set up comms? I Anything else pilots will need to have for effective squash? You know, that was a video recommendation that I've had in the past. I can look a little more into that. It might be pretty tough to do, but I think a lot of players probably don't realize how easy it is to use something like Discord, or you know, they're just uncomfortable maybe, thinking, oh, I have to talk. You know, I'm talking to strangers on the internet. You kind of have to keep in mind that, you know, gamers in general, and this isn't every gamer, but gamers in general seem to be a little more introverted. So they're not quite as comfortable, you know, just, you know, getting online and talking to complete strangers. But I can tell you that it really, really does help gameplay to have the comms available. So, you know, I will try to put together a video tutorial for that. I think it would, or it could help people. What's up, Eddie?
I am back, partner. I apologize. I had to go run and take care of something really, really quick with a family member. So I do apologize, guys. Y'all forgive me out there.
Oh, well, glad to have you back. Been trying to wing it, man. I've been struggling. No. No, my dog filled in for you. Yeah, my dog filled in for you. Actually, he's...
Good job. He's always there to save the day. Anything in particular I missed out on that you want to touch on?
No, just basically just kind of been touching on a hacker issue over there on Android.
Android side.
Yeah, and we touched a little bit on the leech. I kind of explained to him how you're not very happy with the ability to go through walls.
No, I'm very dissatisfied with the choices they made. Now they took it away and they did bring it back and they did lower the redirection to 35%. And this is my issue. And I'll be putting a video out a little bit later on, talking a little bit more about it. But you know, it's one thing for the legitimate players to come in with this bot, and you know, you're going to be able to get shot from anywhere from 0 to 600 meters away through the wall, which is going to take away a lot of tactical play. You know, it makes it kind of hard to be tactical if they can still shoot you through a wall. And we're talking about one particular bot. It'll have a certain amount of time that it can affect this ability, and then it's over. But a hacker, or somebody like the group of hackers that they got going on right now, especially on the Android side, you know, that are specializing in this and seem to be growing like a cancer, spreading out more. And once they figure this hack out, you know, are going to be able to run infinite ability. You know, they're going to tap it once and it's going to keep reactivating itself. And then plus they can redo the numbers, you know, for the amount of damage output that's going to go to that secondary target. So they can bring that all the way up to 100%, 200%. So you can find yourself 600 meters behind a wall, you know, and getting vaporized in no time at all. So I don't like the leech's ability to shoot through walls, and I don't like what it could potentially turn into once it gets in the hands of the wrong people.
I tried to explain it to him, but you know, we don't see the hackers too much. But yeah, I mean, so for me, it's not that much of a concern. It's just more of a concern of you're taking away the only consistent defense that every robot in the game has.
Right.
So I'm 100% against it.
Shields are not safe. Walls are not safe. Nothing is safe. You know, it's if they thought they created a problem and a boost killer or morale killer for the community with the Ares, wait till they release this damn thing. You know, the morale is going to drop way down. You know, people are going to get frustrated. People are going to be, you know, leaving the game early due to running into players like this. And then who's going to end up in LPQ? The legitimate player. You know, just because he does not want to go up against a bot that's being hacked and giving this guy all kinds of damage and silver. And, you know, it just, the frustration will you know, it will spiral out of control. I can already see it happening.
Yeah, Sakad and Vari, sorry, looks like Streamlabs didn't like all of the emojis, so fortunately it timed you out for 2 minutes. I'm just letting you know that's why. Too many emojis and it will do that. But sorry, I also threw a picture of my dog up there on the on the screen, so everybody could see the one that was not wanting to be quiet, the big black one. But anyway, yeah. So we touched base on the leech, and then we were kind of just going from there. I did kind of go over my ideas, or recommendations for upgrade priorities. Don't forget about the robots. Just prioritize weapons. Weapons get you silver. Weapons do the damage, but you still have to have enough robot to live long enough to carry the weapons.
Right.
And don't forget about the modules.
Yeah, there's just so much going on in the game on what you can upgrade, and the fact that you can only upgrade one item at a time, for me has always been a problem. I mean, I think you should be able to upgrade, one bot, one weapon, maybe one module, not upgrade two bots at a time, and not upgrade two weapons at a time, but one of each. That way you can consistently move up if you chose to. But in my experience, it's always been weapons before bots, but don't leave your bots too far behind.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with you. I never understood why we can't have multiple upgrades. And I think that would be a good way to start. Is upgrade one of each type of item. I mean, they're so different. Some of them take completely different resources. So why not be able to upgrade a weapon and a robot and a module or something, I don't know. But yeah, it was the black dog that was
barking away.
Yeah, barking away.
Islander couldn't find any pictures of you on Facebook. I don't know how, partner. My pictures all over my Facebook page. No homo. I'm sure there's no homo. Okay. Yeah, just go to my Facebook page, and I got several pictures up there of myself. One's wearing a cowboy hat. One's with my bulldog. There's several of them out there. They talked about doing that, Eddie. They talked about what, God of War? Upgrading one item at a time or multiple upgrades?
Dekind 420 was asking, would we recommend running Last Stand and Phase Shift on the same robot? Personally, I don't run Phase Shift on any of my bots for two reasons. One, I just don't like it. Yes, it's very effective. Yes, it really works. But two, it costs 40 power cells. I'm always out of power cells. There's no way I can I can afford to run Phase Shift, and I don't want to get caught up in that that cycle where you change your gameplay style to or you adjust it because of that ability, and then you run out of power cells and you're like, oh dang, I forgot how to play. I call it Ares syndrome. So yeah, I don't want to get Ares syndrome from using phase shift too much. But yeah, it's very effective on some robots to run both. I run Last Stand on every robot. So that's another thing in the game that I never cared for. I think the game could do without it. But it's here and I use it.
I wouldn't recommend you running them both. I really wouldn't. The phase shift is a very effective counter against the Ares or any of the Greek bots' secondary weapon. It's just basically timing it, and as soon as they put that weapon out or the shield up, and you time that those shots coming in, you hit your phase shift, those shots go right through you, then you can effectively fight that Greek bot one-on-one however you want to. I don't see the need for running both of them on the same bot. The only bot that I do run the phase shift on right now is a Spectre Vortex. Basically go up, deliver my payload, hit my phase shift, and I'm safe to come down versus getting targeted in the air by anything running a quantum radar and never making it back to the ground. So the phase shift for that particular bot is what I like, okay? But for me to try and put a phase shift on every single bot that I have, no, I think it takes away from my style of play, which is up in your face brawling. And if I'm going to be doing that, I either want an extra armor or I want a thermonuclear there to take that place. I wouldn't waste it on a phase shift. The phase shift is just to get yourself out of a bind, and it can do so with certain bots, but I don't think it's going to be something that you need for every single setup, or you're not to be doubling up with the last stand at the same time.
And
That's just my 2 cents on that.
you know, just some advice I'll give to all of you: be careful using the phase shift. It's very strong, but it's like crack. It's addicting. So, you know, and when it first came out, you know, everybody was using phase shift, you know, everybody. I mean, especially, you know, the power clans, the S clans, you know, they're all, you know, every robot's hitting, you know, 5 or 6 phase shifts, and it's like, okay, it's ridiculous. But you know, randoms were also going through all their power cells, you know, using phase shift on all their robots. I mean, come on, you're running a Kumio. Do you need to phase shift on your Kumio? I don't think so. Save yourself the you know, the power cells. You know, use it sparingly. You know, and a lot of times when I'm running with my squad, you know, we'll be spawn raiding people. You know, they have, you know, no, it's the last guy. He drops in a robot and phase shifted. You know, why are you going to waste the 40 power cells when you've already lost the match? You know, just be careful is all, you know, is what I'm recommending.
Yeah, it gets pretty easy to hit that active ability, and you know, those of y'all that have seen me play, and I've been playing on free for all, and you know, I'm going up maybe Ares versus Ares, and all of a sudden I hit the, you know, the quantum radar. Why the hell would I hit a quantum radar going up against an Ares with another Ares? You know, it becomes almost habit forming to reach over and tap that ability when you get into an engagement. So if you're gonna have it, you better learn some discipline on when you're gonna use it, or you will find yourself broke out on power cells right away, and joining the crowds of people complaining about not having enough power cells because it's just too easy to activate. So discipline is needed if you're gonna run it.
I mean, I don't even run advanced healing, you know, on any of my bots. I stick with the, you know, I have some, I either run healing modules or lockdown, and I only run lockdown ammo on my Aozun. And, you know, when I run out of power cells, if I'm not, you know, going to be streaming, doing it like a squad stream, or even sometimes, you know, if it's like my Wednesday stream, that's kind of more of a fun stream, I won't buy more power cells. You know, I like to go a few days without power cells just so that I remember how to play without relying on them.
Right.
You know, so, you know, try doing that if you guys are running, because it's, if you have power cells, you can't really do that. I mean, because the temptation is there, the habit is there. You know, the power cells are obviously there, so it's really difficult to prevent yourself from using them. But, you know, if you run out, play for a day or two without using them. You know, same thing with boosters. You know, try playing. You know, if you're running solo, don't run boosters. Try to put out the same amount of damage and you know, live as long as you do with the same performance, you know, that you get running boosters. Try and do it, you know, without boosters. Save yourself a little bit of gold. You know, in a squad, yeah, I run my boosters always, but when I'm solo, I don't use power cells. I don't use boosters, and it's good practice, you know. Hey, what's up, Green Sniper? Thank you very much. Islander FFA at 9 p.m. There or be square.
Hey, all right. Well, thank you for that donation to Chief's channel, Greeny. Appreciate that. Yes, I will try to be on later on tonight. I'm still kind of shaking in my boots from that major ass whipping you put on me earlier. I mean, you just laid the smack down on my candy ass. There wasn't anything I could do to defend myself from Green Sniper. I mean, Chief, let me tell you, this guy is a beast in the one-on-one, and you know, he just, you know, I think he actually gave me a couple of kills just so he wouldn't shut me out on his channel. So I thank him for that. So, you know, I'll try to be there, Greeny. I'll definitely try to be there.
Run lockdown ammo on your invader with flames. Yeah, you know, and if you're using, you know, specific weapons, some active modules do tend to be a little better, you know. Personally, I would never run anything but a heal on a tank, but you know, something like the embers or igniters, you know, if you're running it on a robot, you know, that weapon does a lot better if you can lock down the red. having lockdown ammo on that is very useful. Power cell rehab, yeah. I know a lot of people that can go to power cell rehab.
I try not to use too many power cells. I really try to budget what I use in the game. I don't want to see a certain amount of power cells. Uh, it's kind of hard not to hit that button sometimes. And it was actually brought up by a subscriber of mine the other day when I was activating my boosters. I was about to do a video and I'm activating the boosters because I'm going to run boosters for that particular match. And I kept hitting all the boosters, with the exception of the economy boosters, but I was hitting all the boosters, the shield, the extra armor, the damage, the health, all that. And the guy was like, "Islander, you don't run any shielded bots. Why are you pressing the shield booster for 20 gold?" And I never thought about it. It was just automatically, you tap them all and you go to battle. But I'm not running any shielded bots at all. So why was I wasting that 20 gold for so damn long without ever even thinking about it? I was like, man, thank you so, and then it goes to show, man, that we learn from as much from other players as they learn from us. It's always a learning curve. And it's like, damn, why was I doing that? I want all my gold back, please.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of gold to lose for not. I still have a bunch of the shield boosters from back when we used to get them in the, what was that, card flip game or something? Didn't you used to get some there? I don't know. We used to win them from some function that is no longer in the game, and I still have a bunch from there just because I never use it. The only robots I use that have shields is like the Fenrir and the Blitz, and they don't benefit from a shield booster really. So
yeah, not at all. Early on, I believe that they were available in the black market. I think it was in the silver chest. Yes, yeah. Like every spin, you would get one of two boosters. All you would get was boosters, and then they kind of took it out of there. So, but that could have been where it was from, possibly.
Yeah, QR is a good one to load up, like Bodie McBoatface was saying there, or Pre-Med Loner. Is good because you use it the least amount of times in a game, because you really only need it if you're in that situation where you are facing like an Ao Jun, and it doesn't always present itself. So if you're worried about using too many power cells, maybe load that up onto all of your robots. You're a little less likely to click it, maybe. But there is, I think somebody else mentioned, you accidentally hit them too often. I think that you can do it on a tablet. I don't know that anybody that plays on the computer runs into that, but people that play on phones definitely run into that problem.
Scanaria, saludos, compa. Ojalá que todo está bien. Sorry, guys. That was just a hello to somebody who was saying hello to me in Spanish.
Ania S8 1004.
Yeah.
I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to talk in Spanish.
See, I hate to turn up the speed 100% so I don't hit the damn power cell. Okay. All right. Have we covered any other of the maps or any of the other mods? I kind of know we got sprung loaded off into the direction of questions, because questions were just flowing in at an awesome rate. I love it.
Yeah. I kind of touched on maps a little bit when you were gone. Not a whole lot, but I think everybody's familiar with all the maps. The new map that they're coming out with, I think it's called Yandi, I think is the name.
Yeah, the Yandi.
And, you got to keep in mind that specific map, as of right now, is only going to be available during the next event, and only when playing their 1v1 arena mode. So
there it is right there in the picture, the Yandi. And you know what? I'm really looking forward to it. It is going to be an arena style match, and they're going to be waiting for your feedback on this one, guys. All right. So I'm not sure how prevalent our feedback will be on it. If it's going to be an arena kind of like what we had before, yeah, I might play a few rounds of that, but I don't want to sacrifice, silver, keys, and everything else that we're getting in regular gameplay for a little bit of gold and a few power cells. It's not that's not in my best interest for the game. Now, if this thing comes out with a decent payout, power cells gives you a little bit of silver. They make it profitable for you to play it, for you to use your time on that particular mode, then yeah, all day long. All right, I'll be hunting down Grease Sniper on that particular mode. Okay, also, I would personally love to bring my own lineup to this particular setup. If it's going to be a set hangar, okay, it all depends on what bots and what weapons are in there. Okay, and are you good with them? If there's Mercury's in there, then I'm already going to get my ass kicked all day long because that's just not my preferable setup. If I got pursuers in there, I think I'll do pretty good. So, it's all going to be on how they set it up. I'm just looking forward to, taking a closer look at it and see how it is. Now, we have this. Is this going to be the 5 point, the update we got coming up? Is this going to be the Halloween event as well? Or because if not, those two updates are going to be very, very close to each other.
I'm pretty sure that they're going to be loading in the Halloween event with the next update. It probably won't start, as soon as the update drops, but I imagine it will be at least coming to the servers, or it'll be dropping in the game code at that time, just waiting for them to turn it on.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I think that's pretty much the way they did it last year. So looking forward to it. I mean, if you want to rewind, guys, and let's just think about it for a second. Let's rewind back to, last year, 2018. And the Halloween event, and how horrible that event was. I mean, it looked great as far as everything they did for it, but how bad the event was. And fast forward to now, and the events that we're having, and the giveaways that we're having now, how far Pixonic has come as far as the giveaways, and making it eligible for everybody to compete, and not only compete and participate in the events, but actually win good prizes. That is one area. I'll tip my hat to Pixonic. They have done an amazing job as far as that concerned. They deserve the props that they're going to get on that, and I'm going to continue to give them props there. Now, rewind a little bit. I ain't giving no props for the leech. It's going to be all thumbs down and a lot of hate coming the way on the leech. But on the other aspects of the game, I think they've done very well. So I'm looking forward to the event.
Yeah, definitely. I agree that last Halloween event, I mean, there was decent stuff, I guess, with it. They had some cool paint jobs and whatever, but man, you had to grind like hard just to be able to do the event. It was tough, and the only reason I remember that is because that's when I originally started my my first alt, and it was a brand new account, and I wanted to keep it low, but just playing the Halloween event made me go all the way up to like Master League. It was ridiculous. So I mean, just
those ranks.
So it was tough. But I like the formats of the recent events, and I hope they stick with that on the Halloween event. And
I don't think they can go backwards. I really don't. I mean, I think they got to roll with what they're doing. They're doing great, and I can only foresee it just getting better. Okay, But I do fear them giving out leeches during this event and just having leeches all over the field early. Oh my God, I was having nightmares about that damn bot already. Okay, let's move on. I want to keep going back to that.
Ernie, thank you very much for the donation. You wish they would add modules to the older bots. What do we think? I agree. I think when they introduced modules, originally they were talking about, every robot would at least have an active module slot, and maybe, one passive module, with the premium bots having, up to 3. But then they kind of backtracked on that, and when they went live, they didn't give the active module slot to every robot. And I kind of understand their reasoning. They said because, it's a starter robot, we want them to learn how to play the game first before they get confused with, the modules and this and that and the other. And I get that. But at the same time, I think some of those older robots would be hella fun to be able to still play, today, even if they're not as strong. But we just can't play with them because they don't have those modules, you know, like a Gareth. I would love to roll with a Gareth with a maxed out pilot, and if it had an active module or a passive module, you know, I could throw a last stand on it or something just to give it a little bit of a, you know, survivability. You know, it would be fun. But yeah, it sucks that you can't do that.
No, I'm in complete agreement with you there. You know, I would like to see the older bots get open slots as you moved up through levels. Okay, now if you're a starter player and you got your first GI patent, okay, no, you don't get an active module slot. Why? Because one, we don't want you wasting a crap load of power cells on something that you don't understand to begin with. Okay, or wasting a ton of gold on active passive modules when you don't have that goal to begin with, getting frustrated with the game, you know, and say, well, you know what, this is just way too pay to win. I mean, I barely started playing, and I already got to waste all this kind of gold that I don't have. They want me to buy the gold. You know what, the hell with it, I'm gone. You know, that's not the idea. When you start, you should start off really chill, just enjoy the early phases of the game, because that's, to me, that was one of the most fun parts of the game. But as you progress, as you get up to level 20, level 30, 25, level 30, okay, and you have a more clear understanding of the game, and you have other bots now that use active modules, that use passive modules. Now, since you've hit this level, let's go ahead and open up your old tier bots. And if you want to add an active and a passive module, you've worked your way up through the ranks, and they should open up a slot for it at a later time, is my 2 cents.
Right. Zarathustra, any props for the Ares nerf? That's kind of funny because, you know, they had a bit of a snafu on the last dev stream, and there was they had actually collected a bunch of questions, and I had submitted some questions, you know, that I thought were important. Some of them that you guys, you know, viewers had asked, and unfortunately, they didn't get asked on the stream because they were having the issues connecting to Adrian. So, but you know, getting onto the Ares nerf, I did ask during the stream, you know, the pound ask Stan. I asked when they were going to nerf the Ares, and yeah, I know it got nerfed, but not enough. My opinion, especially seeing all these Ares popping back up and the Ares trains coming back. Yeah, I think they're gonna have to. They're going to have to give the Spectre treatment to the Ares. That's my opinion, though.
I can foresee the Ares receiving a second nerf. Maybe a shorter shield time, something. It will have another nerf coming at a later time. The Ares is, once again, it's still not a problem as a single bot, all right? But when he gets with a few of his buddies, yeah, the train is still a problem. It is much more manageable now, I believe. Okay, it's easier to defeat an Ares train, but in the same single game, it is not easy to defeat 3, 4, 5 Ares trains. All right, you're not going to be pre-set up to attack that many Ares trains with the hangar that you have, unless you just decide to run all Hellburners. You're going to be running 5 Hellburners because they're going to be running 5 Ares, and you're trying to counter. So yeah, I can see it receiving something else later on down the line. Now, as far as the dev stream, I was in there just the same as you know, Chief was, and I was putting my hashtag as Stan, and mine was more addressing the silver payout. The silver payout, and yes, I know I kind of laid off the economy a little bit because of the 25% discount, but if you do not have the premium, all right, and you're not running a booster, and you go out and score 2 million damage, you know, take a look at your silver payout. You're about 350, maybe if you're lucky, 400,000 silver. It's a very low payout considering what you put into the game. Without the premium and without the booster, it's poo, man. It's in the dumps. So I've been asking and I've been addressing it, and I was kind of hoping that they might catch that question and answer it, but I just didn't have any luck on that one.
Why do we have 5 hangars when nobody can afford to level more than 1? Well,
good point.
That is a very good point. But you got to remember that most of the people rolling around with 5 hangars now have been playing since the game came out. And, you know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, gold was just flowing and there was very little to spend it on. So people were stacking it up from playing that card flipping game. You know, they'd win, you know, several thousand gold,
The
consistently.
Royale.
And
Yeah.
you know, so unfortunately, I mean, I didn't really get much out of the Royale because it was only in the game for a little while once I started playing. But I had made enough gold to I do have a second hangar. But yeah, no way I could ever level up that many weapons and bots to be effective with two full hangars. I think most people are good with just one hangar. Just concentrate on that one hangar.
Lois Park, thank you for that donation, partner, to Chief's channel. Yes, I am on Discord. I would have to get you my Discord ID. I'm not sure where you can get it, or you know what? If you can get with Green Sniper, I'm pretty sure he can get you my ID, and you can add me there on Discord if you like.
Yeah, he's in the Boom Discord there, Lone.
Okay, cool. All right.
And Islander, you can find him there.
All right, good deal.
All right. Well, I think take a few more questions, but I think we'll have to look at wrapping up the stream here in a few minutes.
Okay.
I mean, didn't really cover as much on the maps that I was kind of expecting. I was expecting maybe some more questions about tactics, or maybe complaints about, oh, this map sucks, because everybody knows that Yamantau sucks.
Yeah, it does.
But maybe we'll have to try and come up with maybe a little bit more specific stream topic in the future that can kind of cover some of the things.
Could definitely have a couple of 100 meters shaved off of it with no problem.
I think that would actually make it pretty fun if they just cut like 100 meters off of each side of center.
Okay, Ugly Duck, what about a 7-slot hangar just used by, Ugly Duck, I like that idea. That is an idea I have brought up before in the past. It has never made any type of impact. I've never received any type of feedback on it. But funny you should mention it. Yeah, I like the fact that you could run or have 7 bots in a hangar, but you're restricted to 5. So basically you have 2 on standby. So depending on what type of map you fell into, you would pre-set up for that particular map, and maybe try to counter, maybe adding 1 range bot, maybe, so many different variations that could come into that, but you would still be restricted to 5 bots. I love the idea, partner. That is a good one.
That's, they actually did address that maybe 2 or 3 dev streams back. That question was asked during the dev stream, will we ever get additional robots in the hangar? And they did say that they are working on something similar, but it may not be exactly what we're thinking, where you get like a whole nother bot. So I mean, they didn't get into details, but they said they are looking at doing something along the lines of adding some kind of an additional robot in your hangar. Now, that could be, okay, and this is my speculation, that could be either adding a flex spot, kind of like what you're talking about, where you have 1 extra robot but you could still only drop the 5 in a battle, or they were maybe hinting towards developing some kind of special robot that maybe craps out other robots for you to fight with or something. I don't know, drones or something. So I don't know. So that's, but they did talk about it, so it is on their radar. I don't know what they're going to actually do.
Well, we know they got something big planned for us, all right? We don't know what that big is yet, and we'll be trying to figure it all out soon enough. But they did throw a little Easter egg out there during one of their little videos where Stan and Toshi were talking, and it's like, oh, well, we got something big. Oh, sorry guys, they tried to play it off. But they do got something big planned, and we just got to try to figure out what it is before it lands. So I'll do my best on that, guys, and see if I can find any rumors or any news on that for you guys, and I'll put it out there.
Full Flames says he wishes that they could make it so you can unequip your active module so you save power cells. I agree with that, and I think that feedback was given to them when modules first came out, when that active module slot first came into the game. I know a number of people gave feedback to them saying, hey, we need a way to unequip this. We don't, if we don't want to spend power cells, because you got to remember at that time, a lot of people were going to boycott active modules. Remember, they wanted to boycott modules altogether because they didn't agree with using modules in the game. But
Well, you know what they could do, Chief, is they could set it up in the settings the same way where you go to activate the music and activate your radar lock, where you can lock on the different bots or move the targets. They could actually put a little button there where you could turn an active module on or off by simply checking, yes, I want them on, or no, I want them off. I think that's a really good idea.
and I think it would be easy. I think the code is probably already there.
Right.
Because we have the ability to show or hide, like health bars. So
Right.
I don't see why we couldn't turn on or off a certain part of the UI. They just have to give us the ability to do so. But yeah, I think that would be great, and that would also solve partially. For some people, it might solve the problem with accidentally activating them. If you remember, several months back, they were going to test a different location for the active module button, and then that went away and never heard about it again. So who knows?
Yeah, they had moved that active module button, and then they moved it back. It didn't it didn't do anything with it.
Right.
So not sure if that's something they're considering on addressing again. I think they should move it a little bit higher, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait on them.
Right. What do you think the skill for the legendary pilot for the Falcon? No idea. I have no idea what that could possibly be. But I hope it's something that's actually useful. Though I think they are about due for coming out with a legendary pilot that has a useless ability. They seem to put one or two of them out and then a good one. So we'll see.
Maybe make it a little bit faster, because that's a slow bot. That is a slow bot.
Uh,
Any more questions, guys? Now's the time, because we're about to close this bad boy up.
Yeah, custom UI, Ugly Duck. I did. That was actually one of the questions I had submitted for the last dev stream. The possibility of more customization within the game, not only with the UI, being able to adjust where your buttons are at, but also with like the regular pilots' names, because the auto name generator, it sucks. It's terrible, man. Some of the combinations that of these pilot names are just terrible. So maybe for like 20 gold or 50 gold, you can name your own pilot. Wouldn't that be cool? But also to have customization for clan banners. When you go into the to the game and you're looking at like somebody's profile, I don't need to see where they're at. There's a big banner there that shows where they're at on their um the new brain's not working. The new somebody help me out here. What's this new thing that we have?
I have no idea
Operations.
what you're
Your
referring
operations
to.
level.
Oh, the battle pass.
Right. Well, it shows the operation level. When you look at somebody's hangar now, it shows up their operation level, and then there's also another icon where it shows their clan, and it shows what level their clan is. How about we get rid of that and just, why not have a clan like a clan banner, and depending on what level your clan is, it unlocks different things. It could be a banner shape, banner colors, banner icons, like an outline or whatever, based on your color, because I think that would be even cooler. And then who knows, maybe eventually be able to put banners, like on your robots or something like that. But man, that would be like a huge moneymaker for them.
Yep, I've actually seen that in other games. I've actually seen that where
Yep.
that occurs in other games.
Yeah, so I think that would be cool. But yeah, more customization would be really, really nice. Even if it's bots, what if there was just, like 5 filter colors for every robot, instead of having, the Ao Jun, the base skin only be white. Well, what if it could be white, yellow, blue, green, or orange? You just pick. And then they would still have the fancy skins and paint jobs with, the different designs and whatnot on them. But, why not? Why can't we have some of those basic customization that just really makes it feel like it's ours? I mean, we're supposed to be commanders, right? So
Exactly.
let us command.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, better client communication interface would be great. It would be great, but there's free tools out there for it, and there's enough bugs with the game that I think it's kind of nice that we don't have like a world chat or a voice chat in the game.
Yeah, I agree. If you guys want to talk, hop on Discord. It's there. It's free. It's not something else that they're going to come in and create more clutter in the game. More buttons to push on the user interface. Yeah, I agree. If you want to chat, you can just jump on Messenger, or you want to talk, you jump on Discord.
All right. Well, I think that's probably going to be looking like we're going to wrap up the stream, guys. I appreciate everybody that came out today and had lots of questions. It was great. And Islander, thanks for dropping in once again for the stream. Love having you on. Love talking about these things, and look forward to doing it some more. And I think I do have some topics set up, but for a few more of these podcasts, but I am expecting some kind of information to come out soon for the next update or the next event. So as soon as we get that information, the very next podcast, hopefully Islander and I will be able to get together for that one as well, and talk to you guys about it. So,
Chief, thanks for having me. We really do appreciate it. Guys, I hope you all have yourself a hell of a weekend. What's left of it. Get ready for Monday, and we'll be seeing each other throughout the week. Look forward to it, guys. And like you said, once we get some early information, we'll